Welcome back, folks. Today, I really want to talk about how we can bring sacred, safe, and consensual sex etiquette to politics and political discussion. So, in the weeks leading up to the election, we know that talking about politics, sharing your views, extracting the truthful views of other people around you is of peak happening. We're all talking about it, or we're all avoiding talking about it. And I believe, and what I've come to witness and observed in the recent weeks, is that there is an extreme lack of consent in the political discussion environment and community. And this is the way that much more harm is going to be done. And this is not the way that we are going to actually find peace, comfort, consensus, unity, trust, openness with each other. So in safe and sacred sex, we want to make sure that we're communicating clearly. We want to make sure that other people and ourselves feel safe. We want to make sure there's an experience, there's a shared trust present. And now I want you to go back to a time and be very gentle with yourself. I don't want you to go back to the worst time or any intense time, but I want you to go back to a time of a sexual experience where either you or your partner needed a little warm up. And I'm not just talking foreplay, I'm talking like you or your partner wasn't feeling safe quite yet, or was feeling really closed off, maybe shut down, okay, turned off. Maybe it was something that happened during the engagement, or maybe they were just feeling kind of closed off from you in general, or you were feeling closed off to your intimate partner in general. And I want you to think about the two extreme cases here gently. In one outcome, you or your partner doesn't honor that there's not a trust space here, that there's not an openness here in their partner, right? And they proceed to take initiative or make advances, right? It's not consented, it doesn't feel safe, they're not open to it. They're very closed off, right? This is not okay, right? We can all agree that this is not okay. That type of practice should lead you to jail, right? Should lead you to some consequences. That's a whole other story. But in a non-consented, unsafe, unwilling, unwanted sexual circumstance where the other person feels closed off, if someone were to continue on with that kind of intention, that was not honored and respected and wanted by their partner, there would be some pretty dire consequences, right? And understood ethical boundaries crossed, right? Unethical, immoral. It would not be okay. Okay, great. The other end, right, in sacred, safe, conscious sexual etiquette would be if I were feeling closed off, right, or my sexual partner was feeling closed off. What I would do first is put myself aside and ask them if they're okay, right? Observing that I'm noticing their body language is closed off. I'm noticing maybe their heart feels closed off to me, checking in. Hey, is something happening for you right now? Is something coming up for you? I notice you're closed. Or maybe not even saying that, just maybe saying, hey, I just want to check in. Is something alive for you? Are you okay? Can I support you? Is there anything that I can do to make you feel more safe right now? Right? And allowing there to be an acknowledgement of they're not fully here. They don't feel fully safe to be present. And if you love that person or you care about that person, you want to understand what they're going through, right? You want to help them help themselves, right? So checking in with how they're feeling. What can I do to make you feel more safe? Do you want to open right now? Do you need some time alone? Do you need space from me? Right? Asking for their consent for you to be there in supporting their opening if they would like you to. Okay, so asking them how they're feeling, checking in with where they're at, observing, being, there's this beautiful saying, seek first to understand, then to be understood, right? So you check in with them, right? And then they share with you, okay, I'm feeling kind of closed off, I'm feeling unsafe. It's like kind of like this. Okay, what are your needs? What would make you feel more safe? What can I do for you? Right? And you get them, you help You put yourself in a space where you're helping them help themselves get to a space of openness if they'd like to be open. Of course, they may say, I'm actually not available for this intimacy at all. I feel completely shut down and I need my own time. I need to hold myself right now. Like, I'm not here. I love you, but no, boundary. Like, thank you, I'm gonna do my thing. That's great too. We get to honor that too. We absolutely honor that too. But in the given chance that they are willing to open with you and they give you information about how you can support them to open, right? In safe and sacred sex etiquette, you support your partner in getting back to that space of openness so that you can both show up to the engagement with clarity, with presence, with consent, feeling safe, feeling open, feeling loved, feeling love. Okay, great. Now, taking these practices to the political arena for political discussion. Same, people, same. If you enter a political discussion with someone and you notice right away that they're feeling closed, that they're not feeling safe, stop with your agenda and ask them if you really care about this person, if you really want to understand where this person is coming from, if you really want to check in, or if they're just a stranger on the internet, we'll get to that in a second. You want to know what they're feeling, because any person, just like in a sexual experience, if they're feeling closed and you keep pushing without their consent, do you think they're going to open up willingly and be like, yes, penetrate me with your opinion. I feel so willing and available to think of something new, to change my mind, to transfer. No. They're going to shut down more. Can you think of one time in your life where you've ever been poked and prodded at to change the way you viewed something or act differently about something, and all of a sudden you were just like, you're so right, I will change like that? No, it doesn't work for that. It doesn't work like that. It works like that in no experiences, no circumstances. No human likes to be poked, prodded, convinced, persuaded into something that does not feel true for them. Such is the same in political discussion, and we get to honor that. Now, the question that we really have to ask ourselves during this political season, and really all political seasons, and really all experiences in life that involves another person, is, are we coming from a place of greater good for the both of us, me and whoever I'm engaging with, you and whoever you're engaging with? Or am I coming from a space that is self-serving? And the way that this applies to politics is in that if you are coming from a place that is for the greater good of all, right? For you, for the partner you're engaging with, for your community, for your Black and brown brothers and sisters, for your minorities, for your transgender community, for all peoples, do you think that you want to shut that person down immediately by prodding and throwing your belief system on them? No. Do you think that you want to be as delicate, as gentle, as loving as you can to make that person feel so safe and understood that they actually feel able to open up to hear what you're saying, even if it's drastically different from what they prior believed? Absolutely. Do you think that you might want to play a longer game of patience and love and compassion when you're dealing with people of opposing political beliefs for the greater good? Absolutely. And I want to make a note here in saying that long game is not, well, they just don't see it yet, so I'll check in with them in 4 years. That's not going to help anyone that needs to be helped. That's not going to, no saviorism here, but that's not going to help the greater good of all people, right? Longing here is showing up with intention, with presence, with compassion, to have consented conversation and exchange with people who do not see what you see, who are unable to see the bigger picture right here, who are feeling so unsafe and in fear that they cannot trust that the greater good is for everyone, them included. Okay, so coming from a self-serving space looks like, I need to be right. I need you to know that I am right. I am going to drill this opinion into you until you realize that I am right, right? It's when you're coming from a self-serving place, you're not thinking about your other party, your other partner in conversation. You're not thinking about how to make them feel safe, loved, welcome, supported, understood. You are not thinking about them. Self-serving. You're thinking, what can I do to be the savior and telling all these people what's right, teaching them all what's right, trying to convince them all that this is the right way. Guess what? Black and brown bodies don't need check marks of I convinced someone, I told them, I really told them, because all you're doing when you're telling them or prodding or pushing without consent your opinion is shutting those people down further, shutting your political conversation partners down even more. And you're actually creating it so they want to open up less and less and less to what you're actually supporting and trying to help them understand. Okay, so are we coming from a space of self-serving, I need to be right, I need to make my point heard, I need to help them understand? Or are we coming from a space of trusting in the greater good, trusting in the process, trusting of love, consent, compassion, safety to help the people who feel most closed off, right? Who feel most different to us in political opinion, who feel most in fear, to help them in the way that they need to be helped in order to feel safe to open. Okay? So question to move through this political season and all political seasons and any engagement ever is this self-serving? Am I doing this for me? Or am I actually doing this for the greater good of all parties involved? The last bit I'll say is, as we're moving toward election day, I want you to remember that there are those of us who have leaned into opening in love, in trust, for the greater good, in abundance, a little bit further than others have felt safe to. I'm not going to directly state my political preference in here, but I will say that I choose love. I choose openness. I choose abundance. I choose in trusting that what is best for all will inevitably be best for me, because we are all together in this. We are all one. If you find yourself engaging with someone who does not have the capability in their being to trust that abundance for all is abundance for them, that safety for all is safety for them, that support and outreach and equal rights and representation for all is inevitably support and love and healing for them, I want you to remember that this is because they have such a deep-rooted wound in feeling that they are not included in the greater plan of all. That life is not here to hold them as well. That they have to be the survivor of themselves. They have to be the one that fends for themselves, that they are not protected by the greater plan. There is a deep-rooted wound in many of our fellow humans in believing that they are not protected, supported, provided for, nourished by the greater good. God, spirit, earth, universe, light, whatever you want to call it. The only way to help people heal their own wounds is to meet them where they are at with love. It may baffle you to hear that somebody thinks that stripping rights away, oppressing other people's, revoking rights away from certain groups of people will keep them safer. It may baffle you to hear that. It baffles me too. And they only feel that way because they have not remembered how intrinsically safe and loved they are. There is a deep wound pattern. The only way to help them remember how safe, how loved, how okay, more than okay, how beautiful it is to open in love for all is to be that role, to be that vessel, to be that reflection of love to them, showing them the way, meeting them where they're at. Can you help me understand where you're coming from? Can you tell me what you feel when you think like that? Can you tell me what scares you? Meet them where they're at. Listen to what they have to say. The only way that they can transform and heal their wound and grow through this wound of separation, of unsafety, of feeling like they're not part of the greater plan is for you to remind them, just remind them that they are. And you do that by meeting them with love. Okay, so patience, long game, intentionality, presence, compassion, seeking first to understand, then to be understood. Did I say consent already? I feel like consent needs to be said one more time. Consent, right? Questions to ask. Is there consent here? As I look at this person, do I feel like they're closing down and they don't want to participate in this at all? Or do they feel open to even hearing? Am I coming from a self-serving place, or am I thinking about the greater good of all? I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that you learned some pieces. I'm more than happy to talk about any of this with you, to answer any questions, to dive in further. Consent in all type of energetic experiences is hugely healing and important, and so special. It's a core of my work. And as I move through this life, as I look around me, I see that all of these energetic practices are applicable to all aspects of our ways of being and living and loving and healing. So thank you so much for listening. Go vote, go vote, go vote, go vote. And as you continue having these conversations with those around you, family, friends, strangers on the internet, my thing about strangers on the internet was that if you don't know this person, you're not actively trying to get them to feel understood or help understand them a little bit more, you're just trying to prove your point. And we all know trying to prove your point is not going to help any Indigenous person, any Black or brown person, any minority, any woman, any man, even any person. It's not going to help any person that is not feeling supported, represented, acknowledged, protected by our systems right now. So go vote, reach out, have conversations of listening, active listening with your loved ones, with love, and be so gentle with yourself. Check in constantly to make sure you're coming from your space of love, you're coming from your space of greater good for all. And I love you. Thank you so much. Have a great day.